Hello,
Okay.
sir. How are
Hi.
you? Thank you so much for
I'm
joining
doing
us
well.
here. Great.
Happy to be here.
Oh, such a pleasure to speak to you, honestly. And we're here not just to have any old chat, but actually
hmm
to have a chat about your amazing forthcoming album. How
Yes,
exciting!
I'm definitely excited. This is a long time coming, man. I'm just, I feel like I've been gone for such a long time that, people are anticipating something great. And I know that I'm confident in what I have. So I'm just excited to just, get back in the field.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's been 3 years, so it's not a huge gap, but it's a bit of time. And I've had the album for 2 days myself. It's been absolutely on repeat. I love it. I
Nice.
really love it.
Nice.
Um,
Thank you.
it's my pleasure. It really is. And so tell me, just to like give us a little bit of context, if you wouldn't mind, about which it was written in. What's the background? Where were you? What were you doing? What was it like?
This album was written in the pandemic times of my life. And, everybody's kind of going through the same thing. I just felt, like I had to tell my version of what I went through. And, it talks a lot about my addiction issues, depression issues, my family stuff. And it's kind of weird the place this project's in because I'm out of that place now and I'm in a newer place, but I still have to sing these songs and talk about this stuff. But, it definitely is all coming from a very vulnerable place. And, I'm happy to share because I know it's going to help somebody else that's going through the same thing. Somebody might be going through it now. And, I just have to be there to make sure that, they know it's going to be okay.
I'm sure that is going to be appreciated by so many people. I think people are still suffering from those times.
Definitely.
So it's even though it might be a bit odd for you to still be singing those songs, like you say, for the benefit of others. That's what art's there for. So I was wondering whether now that it's all going out into the world and it is this like vulnerable piece of work, like how do you feel about that? Is there trepidation? How do you feel?
Well, that's a good question. I kind of feel like it's just a weird place to be for me because like I said, I'm past all of the anguish and the pain that these songs caused, and a part of my therapy was writing the songs in the first place. But now to have to go back and sing them again, it's definitely going to put me in a weird place emotionally. But I still feel like, at the end of the day, it needs to be done. And I'm not like deviating from telling my story, so I feel good. I feel confident, I think.
it's brave. It's like somebody reading your diary, It's like,
oh, man. And it's so personal. I think on Chasing Summer, I did a good job of trying to be personal. But I was still kind of just holding back on what I said because I didn't want to offend certain people or, but this time around, I didn't give a fuck. Excuse my language.
It's fine. It's fine. You're good on here. You're good.
I didn't care, because it was like, it felt like the deeper I dove into myself, the more I was getting out of it, and I, during the writing process, I was going through so much, I still am. And, it was refreshing to get off my chest, but now just having to sing it all over again is going to be a new adventure, but I'm not deviating. That's the main goal, is to not deviate, to just do what I got to do.
Yeah. You're standing in your yeses to do this.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, you kind of mentioned that you don't really care, but like, I was wondering if because you wrote a lot of songs for this. I read that you wrote like 60 songs for this.
Yeah, and, probably more.
Oh my god! And I was wondering, like, when you were trying to pick them, if like any of your family or friends, your wife were like, oh, maybe don't pick that one. That one's a bit much, or
the circle of people that I actually trust with, like, their opinion is so small. So the only thing that I always ask for is trying to, just be honest about how people really feel. But, every time I went to somebody about a playlist, it seemed like we've been listening to the same playlist for almost a year now, probably longer. So I've created newer songs. I've been working. I've been in the studio, just trying to outdo myself, or I wouldn't say outdo myself, but trying to, add to the project. But for almost 6 months, we haven't added a new song. So, I I trust my team's been telling me the truth.
Sure.
I don't think I've missed on picking the right records.
No, you know? That's great. That's great. I'm sure they would be like, oh, it's a bit personal. Don't say that about me, or
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, in true SiR style, it has collaborations. Now, I haven't had any details of the collaboration, so the only details I've had have been like what the ears can pick up over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
So every day's a school day for everyone around here. But could you tell us like a little bit about the collaborations on the album?
Oh, man, I got some of my favorite people on the album. So the album starts off with me and Isaiah Rashad, which, that's my label mate, that's my friend. And I think the song speaks volumes to how much we are aware of our surroundings. And then you got a record that I got with Ty Dolla $ign that goes crazy. I've been a fan of Ty Dolla $ign's because he's an LA baby. I'm an LA baby, and I saw him coming up when I first started to do music. Right. And just watched the progression of his career, and it's just an honor to be on a track with him. And what he says on the song, it's just so dope to have him on there. And then I also have a song with Anderson .Paak, who's one of my good friends, man, and just somebody I look up to tremendously. He's such a talent, such a force in our culture. I even got a song with Ab-Soul on there, which is special to me. You know what I mean? But, who knows? We might have some more features coming up. We're waiting to see.
Oh, it's a Wordplay exclusive. You heard it here first. Oh, no, that's so exciting. I mean, you've worked for a long time with Anderson, haven't you? So, it's just keeping that going, which is, fantastic. Sure. So I was wondering... you actually, I read, made the album with your mom and your brother and your sister-in-law, and you were making it at home. And that must have been like, I know it was lockdown, I know it was difficult and all that, but there must have been some like treasured memories from that time. Like, could you pick out like a couple of real treasured memories from your like family time together?
Man, one of my favorites was my sister-in-law pulling up and just helping on Life is Good, because that was the first time we had been in the studio, and they hadn't even been married probably like 2 months. It was all new, you know what I mean? And she just pulled up, was so professional, which is huge for me because I'm a very punctual, professional person when it comes to the studio. Yeah. I was a recording engineer first, and every job I ever had, I was 10 minutes early, and I made sure that everybody was happy in the studio. So I expect that kind of stuff when I go in. Yeah. So she just showed up and just was so nice and sweet and smiled and just murdered her job, just did her job flawlessly. And that really stood out to me. And the song's out now, so recording now we can laugh progress. About that, it was a really cool moment. And then anything I do with my mom is always fun because she just can't help but smile because she just sees her little baby, and she just shows you that's all she thinks. I think I just did my best Jackie Boucher impersonation. I love it. Oh, my baby. Oh my that's my mom.
Gosh. Oh, that is so special because you do come from such a musical family. It's so beautiful that you have been able to include everybody, and so convenient to have it during lockdown that way, where other people were in like different band members all over the place. So that's you were able to have your own little bubble. That's so special. I love it. So if you had to pick one, can you tell me which one is your favorite? Could you say?
That's like saying, which one of your kids is your favorite? I'm Not Perfect with Ab-Soul. That's my favorite song.
That's beautiful.
That's my favorite song today. It changes.
Tomorrow it could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything. But no, I think that's my favorite song for so many reasons, but for the main reason of having Ab-Soul on there and being such a huge Ab-Soul fan. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm an Ab-Soul fan first. Yeah. And that's a friend of mine, you know what I mean? He's a great dude and such an inspiration, you know what I mean? And, I'm excited. His album's coming out too soon, so I'm excited to hear that in its entirety, you know what I mean? Yeah. But having him on mine, it's just a blessing and an honor.
Oh, God, love that. Okay, so I guess I'll look forward to in future interviews, when you get asked that question, it will be a different answer every time. I love it. You'll be like, so you have to get the whole album because they're all favorites. So, you know, that's it.
Exactly.
Ah, fantastic. So 60 songs in 2 years, as I mentioned earlier, or more, is a huge body of work, considering when you think like most other creators were really struggling to get their juices flowing. Like, what do you think made you so creative during that time?
I was high all the time. No, for real. I was just like, I wasn't doing anything but going to the studio, getting drunk, getting high, and like working on music and trying to be creative through my issues.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and then it got to the point where I just was out of control and had to just slow down and like stop.
Yeah.
But during the stop, when I was being like taken care of and protected by my family, we were still making music. Yeah. You know, so it just was like, it was a roller coaster ride of things that were going on in my life, but the constant was creation. Yeah. You know, and that's always like, that's a huge thing for me, because we all have moments where we can't, where we have dry spells or you know what I mean, we have life happen.
Yes.
And it gets in the way of us just doing things that we love, or doing the repetition, which makes it even easier to create, you know. So the repetition was happening. Yeah. And, you know, through everything else that was going on in my life and all the wild nights, I was creating, I was showing up, you know. And who knows, these songs that don't make the album hopefully still see the light of day in other ways, which is always my goal as a songwriter. Yes. You know, I don't have to sing the song for it to have impact. You know, so I'm just hoping that eventually, you know, through my publishing and you know, through just, you know, networking and meeting people, I still get to release some of these songs and these emotions get released to the world, because that'll make me feel better. You know? Yeah,
I mean, that would be great for all of us. We don't love to hear them, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. You know, that'll be great. So keep our ear to the ground on that one. My final question really is what are the tour plans? Can we have you over this side of the pond anytime?
Yeah.
Come on.
For sure. Top of the year, I want to come back, man. It's been a while. So, you know, we're working on that too.
Yeah.
We should have something. I promise you guys will know what's going on before the year is up.
Oh, that's exciting. We're very demanding over here in London, you know. We just
Yeah, I know.
We just want to have you here. So, I mean, thank you so much for your time. It's been fantastic. And I just can't wait for everybody else to hear the amazing album that I've just heard. I can't wait.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.